Terraria doesn't make any sense. Ice that float on the sky, blocks that just fail physics, the jump height, and most noticeably, the fall damage. Look, it may not seem like a high fall, but in real life, landing on your legs while falling down 4 meters will definitely cause some issues. But to be honest, those are acceptable. Many games have this. However, if this is normal, then this is just weird. Terraria has this set of items called consumables. From the official Terraria wiki, consumables are items that are removed from a player's inventory upon use. Ammunition is one example. Explosives, consumable weapons, consumable tools. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that consumables doesn't always mean consumption, as in ingestion. I ain't ingesting a 5mm bullet, thank you. Then, we get to the weird ones. And I would like to make some sensible theories as to how they are used, while I illustrate them to their most spectacular form. Okay, let's get on with the video. The first few times you go cave exploring in Terraria is for what reason? Gathering ores, getting cool loot. Man, this sucks. And gathering life crystals. Life crystals are consumables. When you consume them, you get a slight increase on your health bar. You can eat 15 of these before your health bar is maxed out. It is genuinely one of the most important things that you need to progress further into Terraria. Otherwise, it would be insufferable. The thing is though, how do you consume them? Let's talk about this while I illustrate it. As you can see, I sketched a bunch of interesting Terraria items that I'm sure you don't want to miss when illustrated. Let's start off with the life crystal. It's a crystal, so I will make it look like one. I will make it look like those raw crystals that haven't been refined yet. And as you can see on the sprite, there are cracks in the life crystal, and that distinct heart-like shape. Now, I did not want to make the heart shape look too smooth, because you know, this is meant to be a rock, so there will be some roughness. And for the cracks, I will be following the layout of the cracks on the actual sprite with some improvising on the side. There will be some variations of thickness to add interest. Alright, now how in the world do you consume this? Well, there are many theories, but here are 2 very sensible ones that I came up with. 1. It's rock candy. Yep, the player munches on the crystal like rock candy. Really? A 2-block crystal? Yes. It's just going to take a while. The player probably has to eat the crystal in chunks every day before they actually finish it. That sounds like a horrible process with very minimal benefit. Well then, think of it like a supplement, like protein powder. Crush the crystal into a powder, make a shake, or add it on your food. That is just ridiculous. 2. It's just energy. The life crystal has a radiating glow, like it has energy inside it. When you break it, the energy within that crystal goes into your body and makes you feel replenished. In Terraria, when you are mining the crystal, you aren't really breaking it, you're just collecting it. And when you use it up, you break the crystal, and the shards turn into an energy ball that just gets absorbed into your body. That actually makes a lot more sense, but I prefer the rock candy one. Now, with the outlines of the crystal complete, it's time to add some color, which will be a rose red. And since this is a raw crystal, the details will be more rough. They would look more like colored rocks compared to the lustrous, clear and refined crystals, which are smooth. I decided to add the lighting on this part of the heart due to the fact that the falling star and mana crystal are beside it, which glows. I don't think mana crystals glow, but in this illustration, they will. The only thing that I would criticize about the life crystal is how flat it looks despite its rocky texture. I also forgot the fact that it radiates some sort of illuminating energy. But other than that, this is what I think a realistic life crystal looks like. A rose rough crystal that may or may not be edible with healing properties. Now, let's deal with the mana crystal. The mana crystal is a crystal that is made out of a combination of 5 fallen stars. And it's consumable as well, which when consumed will increase the mana or magic bar, which will be used for magic weapons. Illustrating the fallen star is pretty simple. I make a yellow star with some parts containing streaks of lighter values. This is just a stylistic choice, and it makes the star look a lot more interesting. This was mainly inspired from the stars that I illustrated when making the star cannon, and for consistency, I copied the style from the star cannon to the present illustration. The problem is that it looks too two-dimensional. Well, I think some extra details will improve that, like a blue aura that surrounds the fallen star. Apparently that's a thing. It looks like it's enchanted by the stars above. And to emphasize that more, particles. Star particles. Now that's a fallen star. Vibrant with energy. Meanwhile, for the mana crystal, it would be a deep shade of blue, with cyan and white streaks dotted around the star. Now we delve into the same problem as the life crystal. How do you consume it? Unlike the life crystal, which actually has that rock candy look, the mana star is smooth, and I imagine it to be kind of like glass. I feel like swallowing glass is obviously a poor decision. The reason why it's blue is because it is a combination of 5 fallen stars, which gives it more energy. And when comparing it to a star classification system, blue stars shine the brightest and burn the hottest, which means they have the most energy. But anyway, back to eating this thing. Maybe it could be like hard candy, except it looks pretty hot to eat. Maybe it's like how you actually use the mana crystal in Terraria. When you do that, it gets absorbed into your body. So it could be that way, but I still prefer it being candy. I also added a white star in the center that will be radiating outward to the rest of the star. It is referenced from the repaired mana crystal, which I doubt many people know about. It has the same radiating characteristics as the life crystal, which I actually forgot to add. Anyway, more glow. Some star particles. And that's about it for the mana crystal. That shade of blue looks mesmerizing. But you may be thinking,
that mana crystal you illustrated there is smooth. In Terraria, the repaired mana crystal shows that it has the same texture and look as the life crystal. So, your depiction of the mana crystal is inaccurate.
yes. But here's the thing. I thought of the fallen star as smooth. So that's why I made the mana crystal smooth. I imagine that the fallen star is just a flat star, and when making the mana crystal, you just hammer them together, and there we go! A mana crystal. Or maybe you guys have a more sensible theory than this. Anyway, it's time for the life fruit. Now, this may be the least interesting, because you can eat it. It's a fruit, of course. I will be illustrating 3 life fruits. One that isn't on a vine, one that's on a pot, and one that has been sliced in half. The life fruit is an interesting item. It's a late game consumable that can be collected in the jungle after defeating the 3 mechanical bosses in Terraria. That's when you get this message, and that's when these life fruits spawn. I would like to think that the life fruit is just like any normal fruit, sweet and sour, like an apricot, with 1 seed on the center. A seed? Yeah, how else would they spread? Furthermore, since this life fruit has some magical powers, I would like to add some glowing streaks within the fruit that could resemble life-enhancing energy. And that's about it. Hold on. I think I forgot something.